Hi there.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Flying Frog video. Here we have the Letov S328 brought to us by Passion2Fly. Now it's just appeared on the Microsoft Marketplace, and so what we're going to do is get in, have a look. Now this one is fairly expensive. Initial pricing is 55 Australian dollars, but it actually opened up on a 14% discount, which brought it down to 44 Australian dollars, which is approximately $30 American and $30 Euro. Now this is as of mid-July 2022. So I have not heard anything about Passion2Fly. I think this might be their first foray into either Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or at least for Xbox anyway. Now this one, she does have a 9-cylinder Bristol Pegasus motor. So what we'll do is we'll get in. Now the weathering, the chipping and that all looks good. The texturing looks fantastic. So let's have a look at the model detail. So get in. Doesn't look too bad, fairly clear. Plane of this age, you're going to expect a lot of paint missing and stuff like that. So that's actually not bad at all. And the motor itself doesn't seem to contain any cooling fins. I don't believe these were a water-cooled engine. I think these radials were an air-cooled, hence the cowling the way it is. So maybe a bit more detail could have been done there. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on Czechoslovakian aircraft. Talking about Czechoslovakian aircraft, this one was first flown in 1933, but main production was 1934 to 1944, and it was main job was used as a reconnaissance aircraft. So what we're going to do is just get on down here and have a look a bit more at the modelling. Pretty simple. Steel strut. Doesn't seem to have a lot of suspension at all in that strut. Does tend to get a little blurry as we get a little closer into it. So it says to me that maybe the resolution is not 100% there. The tyres look a little bit on the glossy side. A lot of weathering as you'd expect. On the whole though, generally not too bad. Now you please have to excuse me. I normally turn my name tags off and I have forgotten to do it this time around. But never mind. And I should have changed my pilot. Never mind at all. You know, he doesn't look quite right for the era. I don't mind the look of this plane. It's maybe a little bit too FSX-ish, if there's such an acronym, I suppose, or not an acronym, but a description. But look, it doesn't look all that bad. It's actually not too bad. What we'll do is just get on in here a little bit and just have a little bit closer look at the... Now I would expect this one to be a wood fabric covered wing, but I don't know. I just can't see the weave in the fabric. So, which is a little bit disappointing, particularly for the price that they're asking. Now this one does come in only 3 liveries, one variant, that's this variant as we see it. This is one of the liveries. There are 2 others which I will include pictures as I go along. Now what I'm going to do is hop on into the cockpit, get it started and go for a fly. Okay, here we are in the cockpit. Let's have a look around. Now this one does have flaps, so we've got a flap here. Now I do know that the flap degrees indicator does not show up on the external view for those guys who like to use that external view and have the partial HUD or a full HUD up. Nice. Stop flicking around here. Actually, I'll stop using my controller and go to my mouse. It should be a lot easier. Right. Nice. I like this inclusion of this old photo. Maybe some girlfriend or whatever like that. It's good. Now it looks well worn in here, as you would expect. It's all fairly basic. We've got our a mixture handle, and then we've got our throttle as well there. Gauges don't look too bad, probably look about right for the era. The knobs though look a rather tad on the large side, but I don't know what this one really is. I'm only just looking at it from in here. They just look, yeah, like a tad on the largish side when you compare things. So, and then we've got an old radio and the like there. Handbrake down here. There are no other special features that I can tell. Hard seat. You know, I don't know if that's supposed to be vinyl, leather, plastic, steel. It's a bit hard to tell. So again, that's probably a little bit on the disappointing side. Right, so let's get it started and let's have a listen. Now then, I know we got fuel down here. So, okay, that's the fuel open. Magnetos to both. Now we got modern, kind of modern switches. Yeah, I don't know if they're right for the era. Someone can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but they just don't look right for the era. So maybe this has some type of slight modernisation to it, and maybe it's been a restored model that they've gone, or a restored aircraft, and they've gone and modelled it on that restored aircraft. Right, I think we got pretty much everything else on. Let's just get the nav lights on while we're here. And I know you can turn these nameplates off, but they do get in the way a little bit. But not to worry. Okay. It's clear prop. Swing her over. Okay, what have I done? Ah, I didn't set my mixture screws. Let's just make sure that a little bit of throttle. Now we should try that again. Clear prop. Okay, burst into life. Puff of smoke as it burst into life, like that. Alright, let's get out and have a look. So there we go. Sounds okay. I would expect more of a deeper thump for a 9-cylinder radial, like the Coronado has done theirs. So, but anyway, let's hop on into the cockpit. Let's take her up. Actually, what we'll do is come back here. Sorry about this. Rightio. Handbrake off. The ground handling is easy, not terrible for a tail dragger. Doesn't want to. It's very stable. Now, whether or not this one is like this in the real world, again, I don't know. We can only go on what's here in the sim. So anyway, I'll taxi on up to the end of the runway and I'll meet you up there and we'll continue on. Okay, here we are at the end of the runway, and as you can see, the view out is not the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off in the third person view, and we'll go from there. Right. Now I'm not going to worry about the radios and everything else at this point in time. People who may buy this aircraft, that's entirely up to you guys if you want to muck around with that. But what I'll do is I will give it the manoeuvrability, stall characteristics, fly around, come and land, and give you my usual final thoughts. Now, before we do go, take off, there is no checklist. It's a bit hard for me to see. I think we're here. So we don't have a checklist. I think an aircraft for this price, we need to have checklist. So that's a minus as far as I'm concerned. Now again, the viewing in here just looks a little bit on the, as I said, the FSX side of things, the way I have seen earlier ported over aircraft. But anyway, we'll get going. So now this one does have flaps, but I won't be using them. Let's have a look here. As you can see, there's the flaps. They're all the way down there. Okay, but I won't be using them at all because it's a biplane, and you know, I would expect this one to take off without too much trouble at all. Right, so let's get going. These are on. When I'm expecting a kick to the left. There's a little bit. There she goes. Oh, look at that. Once she gets up on those two wheels, she gets very squirrely a little bit. Not too bad. There we go. She just away. Nice gentle lift off, as you would expect from any biplane. So let's head on over to this way. Now she is sluggish, as you can see. I'm just falling her over and she's just very sluggish, and that's to be expected too. She's an old girl and being a biplane as well. So what it is, I'll get some height, we'll have some views on the outside, and I'll do the stall test. Okay, now we've got some height. Now I will show you, I'll drop the flaps. As you can see, this first stage, second stage, and as you can see, there we go. It took a while. So we've got 30 degrees. Then I've just upped them, and it goes straight on up. So that's first stage flaps, and it's not reading, but you can see that they're down. There you go, they just drop all the way. So I think it's just one set of flaps, and that's 0 to 30 degrees, and I think it takes a while for it to read until it gets all the way down. But anyway, what we'll do now is we'll just do a stall test. Let's come back around towards land a little bit. As you can see, she's fairly slow to react. So, right, now I'll do power on stall. Let's get in directly behind. Radio. There we go. Just pulling back. Pulling back. And there you go, just a slow mush. And then she's just comes out of it fairly easy. Now she does go along reasonably good pace. 130 knots to about 140 depending on your height, of course. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll just show you some maneuverability. Then I'll go around for a landing. So let's just kick her off. As we can see, I'm full the way over, and it's taken that long. Full the way over, and she's taken that long. So probably, yes, she's a little bit true. The developers have got the handling in the way of the slowness of the response due to the nature of the aircraft. So while we're in here, let's just see if we can... No, we don't get any noises from the airframe. That's a bit disappointing. And I do feel, while we're on about noises, the engine is... it's lacking some depth, I think. It's almost, it's almost generic in nature, to be honest with you. I think that probably this one doesn't sound the way that it does. But never mind, what I'll do now is I'll come back to you guys when I line up on the runway for a landing. Okay, there's our runway. Now this is going to take a little while to get there yet, but we'll go down nice and slowly. Inside. So our views, is that one there, that there, and that there. That's all I've got on the Xbox. So yeah, and sometimes I think that's just a little too close. Anyway, what we need to do is just make sure that we drop some height a little bit. Now, this one's going to be a hard one, I think, to see out of when landing. So, but we'll give it a go, and we'll go from there. See if I can get this one down the centre. Okay, that'll be a challenge. Mr. Captain out of the offside. She doesn't seem to want to keep drifting at all, or she seems to be fairly predictable in the way she loses her altitude. Nothing too dire or drastic. Okay, you can just see the runway through the motor. Probably a little bit on the high side. That's okay. Let's just drop some throttle. Now we're going to land long on this one. And quick. Right, now she wants to float. Big bounce, big bounce. And I'm off the runway. Oh, what's this bouncing? What's going on? Oh, I've had this before. Okay. There we go. Look at that. Have we seen this one before? Yes, we have. I do believe that I may have accidentally activated my landing gear switch when mucking around with the flaps, and it's gone and buried itself. Where have we seen this one before? Okay, this is a major fault. Absolute major fault. So what we're going to do, let's slew this one out of here. We'll go off, take off, come back and land again. Now because I've slewed, the landing gear switch should not be affected. Right, yeah, this will be just a quick one. Let's get back here, get round here. Right, let's just go and quick takeoff. Now this will be just gun and run and gun type thing. A little bit twitchy on the rudders when you get her up on the tail, but you can settle her down a little bit. Okay. Let's just kick back the throttle. What I'm just going to do is just loop around and come back around and land again. See if we can get her on the wheels. Which, if they have got a landing gear, then I would say that then they are using, the developers are using some type of other aircraft, probably sound and controls, and maybe tweaked them to suit and forgot to do the landing gear. Again, you know, like the Bristol B-23 that we had, and an aircraft of this price, I would expect all of this type of thing to be sorted before it gets to the marketplace. It has to be sorted. Come on, come on, get over. Right, let's just, God, jeepers. Just to keep putting that nose right up. Okay. There we go. But we're down on the wheels. So yes, that is a landing gear issue. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll head on over to Park and Spot and I'll give you my final thoughts. The Letov S328 by Passion2Fly. 55 Australian dollars on the Microsoft Marketplace. Be about $37 US, 37 euro approximately. It currently has 14% off. I don't know how long for, as of July 2022, and that pricing works out at 44 Australian dollars, 30 American dollars and approximately 30 euro. Do I feel this is worth the money? In its current state, no. The use of another aircraft's systems without thoroughly checking this is a major faux pas. However, I think the modelling they've done is not bad. The work they've done is not bad. But again, though, for original pricing of $55, for what is on offer, I think it's a little bit over the top. Probably should be definitely in that 35 Australian dollar mark for what we've got on offer here. You can get, okay, it's not a World War II aircraft, but we're getting stuff from Coronado, which is cheaper and far, far, far better quality. And again, just looking at also, just having a look, the wingtip here is all squared off. Now, I don't know if they would normally be squared off. To me, that doesn't look right. I would have thought they would be rounded off, not squared off. So, is that right? Someone can tell me. Would I fly this one again? Yeah, probably. It's not too bad, but it's just got no bells and whistles, and it's just overpriced. And it does need a fix already, which is not very good for someone who is entering into the marketplace. But on that note, please like, comment, subscribe. Join me on my Discord channel. The link will be in the description below. And everybody, please stay safe.